So what brings you in today?
Well, I'm here to talk about my money spending problems.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the problem.
Well, I spend money carelessly because I can make money every single day. So to me, if I want something, I'm going to go and I'm going to get it regardless of what it costs.
Okay, so what do you see as the problem then? I guess is it creating problems elsewhere, or is like what's the big deal? I mean, if you make money every day,
Well,
if you make
sometimes
enough.
sometimes it creates problems other places depending on like if I depending like if I have to pay bills or rent and then I'm late on them or something and I have to be like, oh, I shouldn't have went to, Kohl's and spent $100 on shoes this week instead of paying my cell phone bill.
Okay, so the ultimate problem is that you once in a while have problems paying things you should pay for because you're buying things you don't really need.
Right.
Okay, so like why do you go shopping? Like what do you go shopping for? Let's start there.
Clothes, stuff for my house.
Okay, and are they things you need, things you want? Are they on sale?
Um, Kind of both. I mean, I need conditioner.
Okay, that's true.
I like to, have candles at home. And it's not always about stuff that I don't need. I mean, you have to eat and you have to whatever. And I still take care of my bills, but sometimes I do other things first before taking care of that.
Okay,
So other things are put on hold when I could have just waited and not went to Walmart that day and spent $300.
so is it more of a fact that you spend the money, or is it just in bad timing?
It's just spending the money.
Okay, um, just clarifying because it sounds like it could be two problems.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I guess where do you want to ultimately go? Like, what you want to cut back all the way? You want no spending? You want to cut it down? Like, how severe is it? You spend way too much, or you just spend a
No,
little bit
it's
much?
not. No, it's not like crazy severe. It's just that I want to be able to recognize the fact that I can't spend this here because it's going to need to go to something that's a necessity and not something that I want.
Okay,
So I know the difference, but sometimes I just don't care.
okay. So it sounds like you understand what needs to be done. Where do you ultimately want to be in the end? When we are all done, said and done with all this, where do you want to get to?
I want to get to a healthy spending habit where I know where my necessities lie and where I don't just spend willy nilly. I know what I need to pay for, and whatever money I have left over after is my spending money.
Okay, so feasible goal would to be down to a point where you only spend the money that you have left over after bills.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess we have to set a few solutions in motion. Let's brainstorm some ideas where you can start. Maybe make a smaller goal in the middle, where maybe you limit yourself to a certain amount per month or a certain amount of whatever, uh, so that it's a little more attainable. Or unless you feel that that's an attainable goal for you already.
Mm-hmm. So are we talking like a dollar amount?
Well, whatever helps you get there. We want to make these goals reasonable that you can hit. We can set one now, and when we reach that one, we can set another one. Maybe we set an increment of three of them, and that final goal is that third one. Or maybe it's only two, or if you feel that first one is attainable right away,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll go with that one.
I do feel like I spend too much money on clothing.
Okay.
So I could limit myself to like per month $100, $200 a month.
Okay.
For clothes because clothes are expensive.
So what we want to do, maybe make that first goal and say, okay, let's get the spending of clothes into a controllable amount.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're still maybe spending too much at that point, we look at other avenues.
Sure.
Okay. So what are you comfortable doing? We come up with some ideas. Maybe you figure out how much you spend on bills a month.
Yeah.
And then you know how much it is. If you can't figure that out because some things change every month, food and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, then maybe you limit yourself to a dollar amount. maybe you just stop buying clothes till you know how much money you have.
And I do have enough clothes, so I could stop buying clothes.
Okay.
Don't be that hard.
Is that feasible? You think you can? I mean, because it's kind of like asking an alcoholic to stop drinking tomorrow.
Yeah, because when you go into a store and you see something you like, I might just buy it.
Yeah.
So containing the urge is going to be something too that
Okay. Maybe we just cut up the credit cards.
we could do that.
Okay.
Or one of them.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're too keen on the credit card idea there.
Not really, but one for now wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. So we have some options on the table.
Sure.
Maybe you lock up. Maybe you even lock up credit cards somewhere you can't get at them. Maybe it's in a friend's secure safe or a family member's secure safe. They always say, to have a support system around you to get through any kind of problem.
Yep, I could save the money that I make every day and give it to a good friend or my parents, and they could hold on to it for me, and then that could be something that I could either look forward to or in case of emergency or just whatever it is. Because I could go to the bank and take it out if I wanted to, or I could spend whatever I wanted to. So,
okay.
I understand that.
What are comfortable solutions for you? Are these all comfortable solutions, or what do you think is the best for you? Ultimately, you have to follow it, not me.
Well, it's hard to self-control. I don't have somebody sitting on my shoulder like we are talking about it now. No, you don't need to spend this. So that's something that I have to learn to do. But as far as for right now, I could make sure that I allot a certain amount of money that I give to my mom, every 3 days, and I could cut up one credit card. And that could be my goal for this month.
Okay.
And we could do it monthly. And we could create different goals monthly if we needed to.
Okay. So ultimately, do you think you can handle that, or I mean, outside of the urge to just buy things, do you think you have to go that drastic with your? Is it you think you're that bad a position that you can't hold on to the money?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So what?
Sometimes I feel like I have to give this to somebody, otherwise I know I'm going to spend it on whatever I want.
Okay. So what's the most realistic option for you think? So we came up with a few of them, a budget, cutting up all credit cards. You pretty much told me that you didn't like that one. That wouldn't work for you. Having someone that you can trust putting stuff into their safe, only buying clothes twice a year, or with your last one, like you're talking.
Yeah, twice a year. Twice a year would not work for clothing.
Okay, so that's not the most realistic for you.
No, that one's not going to work.
So we can rule out a couple, and maybe choose from a couple, or you can try a couple, whichever works. So,
yep.
Let's try to narrow this down so that way we have something to work for.
Okay,
next
I will agree to cut up one credit card, and I will agree to every 3 days give money to a close personal friend to save for me.
Okay. Do you think that one person kind of will agree to this? Do you think they're comfortable enough holding on to your money?
Yes.
Are they trustworthy enough too? I mean, because
Yes.
you are giving your money. You don't want them spending your money if they have a problem.
It is my mother.
Okay. So that's obviously important as well. Do you feel that this first step is a helpful step?
Yes.
Okay, so you're hopeful that you can get there by starting with this step? Okay.
Yes.
So I think that's probably a good spot to stop for today. We kind of accomplished the goal. To try cutting down on your spending per month, so that you can make sure you're paying for all the bills. You got to eat, you got to get certain things. Those obviously we can't cut back on. So our ultimate goal is to not spend more than more than your budget. And you're going to give your mom some money and a credit card so that your avenues of spending are cut down, and we're going to see if that works. Or we might have to take a more drastic measure. So that sounds good?
Yes.
Okay. So then what I would recommend is let's give this a month, since bills are usually monthly. See where you're at that point. See if you're able to handle it. Of course, if you need to come in earlier if things aren't working, you can always give my office a call.
Yeah, reorganize.
Yep. Otherwise, I would just say meet my receptionist outside my office here, and she can schedule something. She's got my calendar. So just schedule something around a month, and we can reconvene and figure out if that worked, or if we need to take more measures. But like I said, if you feel you need to be in sooner, go ahead and reschedule it for a sooner time if I've got something available.